Hello and welcome to Chill Game Build, the channel where you come to chill and where I play video games, build Lego and repair gadgets. This is Series 2, Episode 2 of my build and review series. My subscribers might be shocked to have seen this video drop today, since I normally only drop these videos 1 week at a time. But since it is May the 4th, I couldn't resist. So you're being spoilt to another LEGO Star Wars build and review video. In yesterday's episode, I built this Set 75334, the Obi-Wan Kenobi vs Darth Vader duel. And in this episode, I'll build and review this Set 75322, the Hoth AT-ST from the LEGO Star Wars theme. Before I begin, I will explain how this video has been broken down into 4 sections. Firstly, I will show you some details about the set and share my first impressions in brief. Then you can see a quick time-lapse of the build process. We will then dive into some web reviews before I finally share my own opinions and rate this set. So, make yourself comfortable and enjoy the video. Here are the official details on the lego.com website for set 75322, the Hoth AT-ST. This set was released on the 1st of Jan 2022 and is still currently available at time of recording. It retails for £44.99 here in the UK. It contains 586 pieces, which works out at 7.7 pence per piece. And the recommended age rating for this set is 9 years and up. So here are the features. Let the brick-built battle of Hoth begin. Kids can recreate epic Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back action with the first buildable LEGO Star Wars Hoth AT-ST model. Packed with features to inspire play, this 586-piece set for ages 9 and up features an authentically detailed Hoth AT-ST walker, 3 LEGO minifigures and a droid. Also showing off some play features too, designed for battle play via the 2 spring-loaded shooters, rotating head, turn the wheel to rotate the head of the AT-ST, and the 4 LEGO Star Wars characters including Chewbacca and an Imperial probe droid. Cool gift idea for kids, great for solo play or social play. This premium quality set makes a great gift for young Star Wars fans. The following details are accurate as of time of recording. There are 4 pieces unique to this set, 2 of each making part of the minifigs. I was pleasantly surprised when I realised Chewbacca's headpiece and legs are both one of a kind, since they are speckled in snow as opposed to the common Chewie minifig. And the torso and legs for the AT-ST driver are both also unique to this set. And before I build, here are my first impressions. I must say, it does a very good job of looking like an AT-ST. I think they've got the scale quite accurate. It looks very tall, and obviously a minifig can fit inside there. Looks like we've got some mechanical articulation for the head, so it can rotate at the neck using this gear at the back here. That's always good. I can see a bit of red peeking out here from the spring-loaded missile. Yeah, not great there. Speaking of which, those spring-loaded missiles also have a mechanism where you push these axles in by the looks of it, and those will fire the missiles. That's good, so you've got a couple of controls on the back here for play. That's good. Okay, so the hatch does open, obviously, as you could see on the box art. And oh, actually, the whole hatch opens, and then also the small hatch. So obviously, it wouldn't open like this in real life if it was real. But this is to make it easier to access the internals. We can see the minifigs sitting inside there, and he's got a little control panel, which is nice. Shame there isn't a viewport though, so we just have these dark grey pieces instead of the viewport windows and visors, shall we say. So bit of a shame on that, as it does disrupt the look of the walker itself. Got a bit of knee articulation here, but it doesn't look like there's any movement in the hips or ankles. So I do wonder how sturdy this set will be. The feet look like they have quite a big footprint, so looks like it'll be fine on flat surfaces, but I'm keen to see how it would handle uneven surfaces or something like carpet even. Okay, and a bit of the back of the box art here, all the play features on the back again, and some studio shots. Yeah, I really like the look of this, to be fair, it's growing on me. And another building, half built picture there. Oh, those are the 3 minifigs. We get Chewbacca with that custom paint job, and he comes with his crossbow stud shooter. Nice. Couple more weapons there for the other 2 characters. Got the ATST pilot and Rebel Trooper, so just a generic trooper there. Still very nice to have. Yes, so those are my first impressions and some details about this set. I hope you have found them interesting. Let's build. Here is the complete build for set 75322, the Hoth AT-ST. And before I share my opinions, let's see what customers have said about this set online. Please note, I usually try to target the 2, 3 and 4 star reviews, of which are not incentivized, to get what I hope are more balanced opinions and comments. Starting over here with Lego.com, this set averaged 4.7 out of 5 from over 60 reviews, making it the highest rated set on this series so far. This 4-star review from Se02Ep02 seemed fairly balanced to me, and they said, better than expected. I am pleasantly surprised with this set. The build for the AT-ST is bigger than it looks on the box and is actually very close to minifig scale. The head of the walker looks nice, the plates fit together smoothly, and the spring-loaded missiles are well hidden. You won't have to worry about shooting them by mistake. The legs are surprisingly sturdy and they do a good job of supporting the weight of the head when standing in neutral position. The $50 price feels just right for this. You're not getting an amazing value, but it certainly is not overpriced. There are a few minor flaws. There are some visible beige pieces on the legs that are very noticeable. Dark grey would have been a better choice. The legs are not very poseable, which wouldn't bother me if they weren't advertised as being poseable. You can certainly try to display the AT-ST with the legs bent, but it is very hard to balance and will fall over easily. The goggles for the Rebel Trooper are oversized and look goofy. This is one case where I would have preferred the goggles to be printed on the face. Since the head is double-sided, they could have made one face with the goggles and one face without. Overall, a solid set and a great addition to any Hoth display. So I definitely thought that was a good, thorough review from Se02Ep02, and I do like the fact about the Rebel Trooper. I think it would have been a lot better having a double-sided face with and without goggles rather than the oversized goggles, because yeah, it does look kind of goofy. Next up is Amazon.co.uk, where this set received an average of 4.8 out of 5 from over 3,600 ratings. A popular set here too. I found this review written in German by Nart76 was mostly truthful, and they said, shaky construct, overall a nice AT-ST model with a high recognition value regarding the original form of the Star Wars movies. It was also very nice to watch again in the series The Mandalorian. The assembly was a bit tricky overall, so I had to help the son, who is 9 years old. The situation is good. I think the translation's a bit broken there. I think it should be the build is good. However, the attachments break off constantly, so that you have to reinstall them again and again as long as you know exactly where they need to go again. The cabin also only holds moderately and also breaks apart constantly. The model is more suitable for standing and admiring, not to play with it and recreate Star Wars battles, unless you have enough nerves to constantly repair the model, because Sun naturally wants to crush the rebels with a fully functional AT-ST. So I think that was quite a good review in terms of, yeah, I've had a lot of parts falling off of this set, and even when you're handling it, or if it just takes a little knock, the parts sticking out do come off quite easy. Although I have to disagree his statement about the cabin, as I feel that it does hold well and it is well put together. Okay, the front may be a little flimsy, but the sides and the roof definitely hold well. Lastly, a snippet from the official brickset.com review left by Cap'nRex101. I like the reviews here, as I find the writers always provide insightful information. They said, LEGO has produced 3 AT-ST driver minifigures since 2007, each wearing light bluish grey uniforms. The latest example is instead dressed for Hoth and is therefore an original design, wearing a white jacket. While the standard AT-ST driver would be more versatile for other environments, the brighter version appears excellent and displays continued detail on the legs. Unfortunately, the colour matching between the legs and torso leaves something to be desired, as usual. The helmet is perfect though, including printed goggles and a moulded strap across the back. Additionally, I like the printed chin strap on the driver's double-sided head, alongside 2 appropriate facial expressions. And there's the other expression there. So yeah, really nice prints on the face, those are cool. But yeah, definitely a shame about the colour matching. You can really see the difference in colour, especially when you look closely at the minifig. So those were a few web reviews from different perspectives that I found most interesting. Over to my opinions. Here are my opinions of the Hoth AT-ST set number 75322. In my reviews, I may avoid detailing some of the glaringly obvious, as I feel certain factors are likely to have been covered in many other review videos and articles that you may have seen online. So treat my reviews as a supplement to other reviews you may have seen already or are going to watch. Do note, I still factor everything into my ratings, but hopefully this video will give you something a little extra to consider if you are thinking about purchasing this set. So, I will start with what I think are 3 pros and 3 cons. Then I will rate this set based on build experience, play experience and value for money. And finally, I'll give my overall verdict. So starting with the pros, and I must say this set really is growing on me, especially since writing my opinions and playing with it. And starting with the first pro, I must say the head is really nice on this build. It's an accurate enough shape. It could do with maybe being a single stud slimmer, but then I suppose the 1x4 spring shooter bricks wouldn't fit where they currently are. It holds together surprisingly well. Okay, it might be a little gappy due to the distinctive angles, but at least you cannot see inside. The sides here are held into place on a single blue Technic pin, so they lock into there, and you have a modified 1x1 stud there, which bottom piece here locks into place. I'll just try and put that back together carefully, and as you can see, yeah, you just have to align those into place and those lock in pretty well and give it that interesting angle. There we go. Put this back together. onto my next point. I like these side mounted weapons here on either side. You would think they would fall off quite easily, but then they're quite secure. So the way they're held into place is in fact using a modified 1x1 stud with a shaft that goes through a single stud and a round 2x2 jumper plate there. So this little assembly here is pretty secure across here and simply locks onto the side there using those 4 studs. So really nice. Those aren't particularly going anywhere, especially at that joint, although I'll mention later some of the aspects do still come off slightly. We also have these tactile buttons here on the back of the head. So those are nicely positioned, easy to get your thumb onto, and really satisfying to fire the missiles. And the way that these work is we have these axle pieces that just sit at the back here, and you push those forwards with a 1x2 rounded sort of tile piece there that just leverages the angle so that the missile is pushed out. And just at the top here we have the double opening for the hatch, one for easy access and the second one for the real hatch. So you can have the minifig ATST driver sticking out the top there like so, or if you like to put him in, lift the hatch, and I personally find it a little tricky to get him in there like that, so again just removing the front makes it ever so slightly easier. If I remove his accessories, he sits in nicely like that, no stud connections. And what's really nice about this is that they've thought about everything and included a couple of clips here which are color coordinated for his blaster and binoculars. Really nice, really like that feature there. Somewhere to put those, and of course it closes just right. So my second pro being the detail in this build. The more I study this set and compare it with the diagrams of the original media, the more I notice some intricate design choices that benefit both detail and structure. So we've pretty much got 360 degrees of detail in this set. We've got the 3 weapon assemblies on the head, and this light bluish grey 1x2 ingot piece which gives a hint of the forward sensor. We've got layer tiles to show the reinforced armour here, and I like how the joints have the anti-stud sides on display here. Really nice design using a round 2x2 plate with hole in it there, and we have a round 2x2 plate which is fixed using the axle piece there. We also have round 2x2 plates with printed pieces here to represent the fans on the back, and of course a printed control panel inside. We've got these 1x2 roof tile pieces that portray the vents for the cockpit cooling system up here, and these dark bluish grey spoiler with shaft pieces are for the plastron shields. We've got dark bluish grey track rods down here as well, which represent the ankle joint tensioners, and some nice greebling here around the drive engine section, and also on the feet. Also, the brick-built Imperial probe droid has been designed remarkably well. And of course, I do adore Chewie's new print. And lastly, to top this all off, there are no stickers in this build. And finally, my third pro, I find that there are some really interesting build techniques. In addition to what I mentioned of the build techniques for the head, I like how the concussion grenade launcher utilizes a wheel piece. The flick fire pieces are used to reinforce the legs as they slide through the center of the Technic pins. So just here, for example, that's actually a flick fire missile piece, and you can see them just showing through the Technic pins there. And those 3 points, quite tricky to get an angle on there for you, but you get the idea. The play feature to control rotating the head is using a modified round 2x2 brick in light bluish grey and finished with the dark bluish grey round 2x2 tile there. So that feels really nice to control, easy to get some grip on there too. Very nice. The neck is sturdy and has enough friction to hold its position. So wherever you rotate it, it will hold for the most part, even if you're sort of tilting the build. But there's not a whole lot of space for me to demonstrate this. There we go. And inside here, in fact, if I carefully open it up just like so, you can see there is a 4x4 gear block which houses two small gear pieces to change the rotation angle vertically. So that's how that mechanism works. And the buttons to fire the missiles here are so simple and effective and very satisfying. Over to the cons. And starting with the obvious one, the legs. I feel the Technic beams are slightly too exposed around the ankles here. It seems to have been a design compromise to maintain stability, but while also keeping the narrow profile. As you can see on both the inside and outside, we've got visible beams there with all the holes showing there. More importantly, I feel that the adjustable legs play feature is almost pointless. On carpet, it can only really manage a single position. You might be able to get away with tilting it once. Quite tricky to demonstrate this, but you get the idea. But definitely, you've only really got one position there, really. You can achieve the full range if you mount it onto a studded plate, as the bottom of the feet have the anti-studs to clip in to a base plate of sorts. So imagine the base plate where my hand is, and it can hold going all the way back like that. and I'll quickly just put this all back together, as I had a few pieces come off here. So yeah, that play feature for the legs does leave me slightly disappointed. Since it was showcased on the box, I thought it would be a little more interesting. And nicely over to my next point, as you've seen a few pieces go flying already. You do really have to handle this set with care, especially if you plan on using it for play. I've found certain parts often fall off if I'm not too careful. There are pieces hanging on with a single stud connection or a single clip, and the most troublesome spots for me are these assemblies on the upper part of each leg, which you've seen already come off very, very easily. So 2 places there, that like that, and where they actually fit onto the leg there. Those very often come off there. The concussion grenade launcher also does come off a little easily at that point here, where of course it's sticking out, so it can easily be knocked. And the front viewport, as I mentioned earlier, does come out like that, although I do like to use it to gain access to the cockpit anyway. With that being said, there are 5 places that I could find this set to be handled without too much worry. So using the long part of either leg, you can swing this around, it's not really going to fall apart at the legs. The rear of the drive engine, so just gripping it there, feels very sturdy and probably the best place to handle this set. The back of the head too, you can hold it like that, and yeah, the legs do spin around, but it is held in quite nicely. Did come apart a little there, but you get the idea using the hatch as well. It does hold though, maybe not if you're shaking it though. So that was con number 2. And my final con would be the omission of the front viewport visors. So we've got a representation of them, but they don't exactly open, or you cannot really see inside. These built ones do look menacing to me, but I can't help but look at it and feel that a key part of this vehicle's design and personality is missing. I think if the designer had implemented adjustable view parts, it would improve the set's overall appeal to all by adding to play experience, and it would offer extra pose options for displaying the set. I know there are a few people who like the look of this set as it is, so maybe it isn't a con for all, but we're all entitled to our own opinions, and this is mine, and I don't mind if you disagree. So those are some pros and cons. How would I rate this set? Well, for me, the play experience gets a 3 out of 5. The rotating controls for the head and the spring-loaded missiles buttons work extremely well. And the 3 minifigs are great, and the Imperial Probe Droid means there are many possible scenarios you could make. But what lets me down though is limited articulation of the legs as a play feature, and of course extra care is required to ensure pieces don't fall off. For the build experience, it gets a 4 out of 5. It's well paced, fun and interesting. Nothing extraordinary, but it did have a lot of variety. In the first bag you put together the Imperial Droid first, and the mechanism to rotate the head. So you see that come together early on. I did have a slight issue with aligning the axle with the gear inside since you close it in, but I found a way around it, which wasn't too difficult. In bag number 2 you build the cockpit, which also includes the side-loaded missile shooters, which is again an interesting mechanism to put together. And in bag number 3 we get a bit of repetition as we put each leg together one at a time. And finally, bag number 4 is where the head comes together, the outside of it, to complete the build. And for value for money, this set gets a 3 out of 5 from me. With LEGO Star Wars, you're always paying a little more since they are a licensed product. This set retails for £44.99 here in the UK, or $49.99 in the States. It contains 586 pieces, so that's 8.5 cents per piece and $16.66 per minifig. That's excluding the Imperial probe droid. According to brickinsights.com, the average price per piece for LEGO Star Wars is 14 cents, and the average price per minifig for Star Wars sets is $20.46. So overall, this set gets a 3.3 out of 5 from me. Initially, what I saw in the pictures, videos and the box art, this set didn't really excite me too much, but upon building and playing with it, it has really grown on me. It's a well detailed set with multiple points of articulation. It makes great for play and display, and my verdict would be that I would recommend this set. And before I go, here are the spare pieces. You get spares for all the very small pieces, and you also get one spare transparent red missile and stud. Here's a quick glance at the last few pages of the instruction manual. They show a few other sets based on the Hoth scene. And finally, the piece count. Thanks for watching my build and review video. If you enjoy my content, please like, comment and subscribe. I would really appreciate your feedback so I can continue to improve the quality of my content. This has been Chill Game Build. Stay tuned for the next one. Over and out. Peace.